And that was $2,000
For the 10 megabyte?
for 10 megabytes.
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Yeah. That was quite a while ago, but
Hey guys, so I'm down here in East Texas. I've been visiting my dad for the last couple weeks, helping him out with his open heart surgery. And we want to share with you some of the experiences that he's had at both of the hospitals that he's been involved with. Now, you're going to hear his story here in just a second. You'll notice a couple things. First, he's 74 years old. He's a vet, but this is his third heart attack that he had back in February, and just now, it's July, they scheduled the open heart. And we didn't have a whole lot of notice of when the open heart was going to be, only 6 days, but all the family tried to scramble and get here. Myself, my brother, his brother flew in. So we all traveled quite a bit of distance to come here and spend some time with him and help him through this. And I'm glad we did, because had we not, I would hate to think of what would have happened on any number of these situations where he needed help and no one came, and no one came quickly. These are issues that obviously are a problem and should be looked at. You'll see that he has a trach. So a little history on that. He had throat cancer almost 20 years ago. We believe it's most likely hereditary. He never smoked, but grandma had it as well. So when they did the throat cancer and the radiation treatment, it left him with some scar tissue damage. And over the course of 17 years, that scar tissue had built up and restricted his esophagus and his airway, hence the need for the trach and the feeding bag. And that was equipped with him for 3 years now. Over the last 3 years, it hasn't really affected him. He's had to change his whole way of cooking, and he'll tell you a little bit about that. And he's completely independent, lives with him and his wife and their 85-pound dog, and up until the heart attack in February, they're doing pretty well for their age. So some of the stuff that he will tell you about is, the reasons that he's upset have very little to do with, this being something that's new. And you'll see as he tries to speak with you, speaking is very difficult for him. It's painful, in fact. And the trach can get clogged with phlegm and blood. And these are some of the issues that obviously have obstructed his airway, and he's needed some assistance with getting that handled because he just can't get up and do it himself, freshly recovering from open heart surgery. And so hopefully you'll be able to understand him. You'll notice that he puts his hand over it in order to talk, and that's pretty common with tracheotomies. He does have a lot of information available. We put up the website, heraldsheart.com. So please, if you would like to speak with him, he's got a Discord on there, or if you would like to just get more information about the details of everything that he's speaking about, please visit heraldsheart.com. And so we're going to let him tell his side of the story. So explain what's happening with the trach when you press the button. You said the other night that you had to wait 30 minutes to get somebody to come and help.
Yeah, I did that. Pressing the button once, and within a minute or so, the girl asked me, "What do I need?" And I told her I need help with the trach. She said, "Okay." And I waited about 15 minutes. Nobody ever showed up. So I pushed the button again. Second time, nobody even answered the line. Nobody said anything, nobody came in. Usually they say something on the speaker at least to ask you what's wrong. Nobody was there, nothing, didn't hear anything. that was 15 minutes. So I just sat here, and I guess it was about 8, maybe 9 more minutes later. The girl from the kitchen came in and brought up a tray for me with hot tea on it. And I asked her if she could please get the nurse. And she says, yeah, sure. Well, she said, I'll send somebody in. So she went out. And again, nobody showed up.
And during this whole time, you're struggling to breathe because the trach has been clogged with phlegm.
Yeah, well, I pulled the inner trach out.
Mm-hmm.
But if I coughed again, it would clog the inner trach too. I mean, outer trach. The inner trach I had in my hand was already clogged. So I was breathing, provided I didn't cough or anything. And then it was another 10 minutes or so, which this time was, 30, 40 minutes after my original call. I rang the bell again. And this time, the girl said something, and I said, I need help. She's okay. I think she said her nursing. And nothing happened. I sat here for another 10 minutes. And finally, the nurse did come in. And she came in and says, can I help you with something? And I said, yeah, where the hell were you? I called over and over again. She said, what? She was so upset. She said, nobody gave me any message at all. She said, I don't know anything about it.
So how in the hell is that possible? Because they're supposed to have lights, they're supposed to have alarms, they're supposed to have somebody down there at all times. And when I was walking...
I think maybe the nurse was busy with some other client or something, some other patient. And nobody went to find her or what? I have no idea. All I know is she was surprised when she came in and she just helped me find.
Sure.
But that was 50 minutes from the time I called the first time. And because I told her, I said, I called you 50 minutes ago, and she said, 15? And I said, no, 50 minutes. And she was shocked.
And that's beyond unacceptable
Yeah, I know.
in any circumstance. And had you coughed or clogged again, you would have suffocated
Possibly.
during that time period.
Possibly. Today was another little incident, but it wasn't anything big. I mean,
Wow.
I called again this morning once. Most of the times I called last night and this morning, somebody came right in.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one time this morning when I called, and I told her I needed help. She came over the intercom, and I said I need help. And then I didn't hear anything. So I didn't wait so long this time. I only waited about 7 minutes. I pushed the button again. She said, can I help you? And I said, yeah, help me. And she said, okay. And that time, she said to nurse it.
But 6 or 7 minutes,
Yeah.
when you need something, I don't know about you, but I can't hold my breath for 6 or 7 minutes.
No, I can't either. So, there's a miscommunication in the training or something. I have no idea what's wrong.
Well, I mean,
Something's wrong.
you're in a hospital. We're here at UT Health in Pittsburgh, Texas, and you're here to recover from the open heart surgery.
Right. problem. I think it's staff communication is the way I look at it. Just what's going on, just my opinion.
Sure.
That's what I think. As a miscommunication, mistraining. One thing I do know it's common. They don't know how to handle patients with major surgery that have a trach. I have a trach and a G tube. And they have very little training on handling that. So they go up in the air very quick. They go, oh wow, I don't know what to do for sure. And that response does not please me very much. Because if they know what to do, they should get somebody to show them what to do. And for the most part, that has been the case. They have done that. That's been fine. But my fear is they're not trained properly to handle people with a trach.
And, you know, the trach is what allows you to breathe. Everybody's going to, of course, ask, were you a smoker? And, you know, you were not.
No, I never smoked.
Yeah, the throat cancer was probably hereditary. Many things can cause it. And of course, then the scar tissue restricted the airway and caused the need to have the trach put in. But this was 3 years ago. It's not like this is a new thing that they had to do during the open heart.
No, I've had to deal with my trach and future for 3 years, and I've been dealing with it fine. For them to come in here and tell me I can't deal with it is bullshit.
Yeah, because the VA has ran every test. They're the ones that did the
Right.
tracheotomy.
That's right.
You know, so
The
you're
VA was perfect on it.
yeah. So you know what you're doing. And prior to the open heart, you were cooking at home.
Right.
And so, can you tell a little bit of what you make, what your dietary
Well,
is?
I've got cooking experience forever, since I was 10 years old. So I can't chew my meals anymore, because anything I eat has to be in a form of soft gravy or, you know, tomato soup or something like that. It has to be or like a soft slushy smoothie. Has to be that consistency, honey, like that. Then I can swallow. I swallow it okay. But if it's too thin or too thick, I can't swallow it. So I cook my meals something, I don't care if it's like a roast or a burrito or eggs or whatever it is. I blend them up. I put everything like you would a quiche or anything, you know. I'll blend it up, all in the blender, my eggs, bacon, or whatever I put, ham. I usually use ham. Blend it all together, put it in a frying pan, and put it on soothe. And it comes out like pudding, like a soft pudding.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit there and eat it. And I even make biscuits and eat biscuits with it. But of course, the biscuits I have to dunk in the pudding to soften them up. I can't let them dry.
Sure.
And the same thing I do with roast. I'll take a roast and potatoes, carrots, peas, put them in a pressure cooker, cook them, throw them in the blender with my spices, blend them all up, and it's like one big gravy, one big bowl of gravy. Same thing, I'll eat it with maybe some soft mashed potatoes and biscuit, and that's it, I'm done. It's a lot of work, but I do it fine.
It sounds like it is a lot of work.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. But it allows you to eat.
Yeah, to me that's nutrition, not this bottle crap that they want to feed you.
Yeah.
This instant crap from these companies. That's all chemically made and shit. To me, there's no good vegetables in there or anything like that. That's what I want.
Yeah, and as a cancer survivor, diet is extraordinarily important.
And that was $2,000
For the 10 megabyte?
for 10 megabytes.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Yeah. That was quite a while ago, but
So the issues first became apparent when he came out of ICU. The very first day, he was at the very end of the hallway, all the way as far as you could possibly be away from the nurse's station. And he had requested help because he couldn't breathe. When you have been intubated, there's a lot of fluid and phlegm that gets into your lungs that has to be expelled. Unlike you and me, he can't just lean over and cough. He actually can't lean over at all, coming out of open heart. And with the trach, a lot of times that airway will get clogged and will require it to be rinsed out. Now, it's nothing more than a simple plastic straw, essentially, that needs to be rinsed underneath a sink or put through with a little scrub brush. Very simple procedure, requires no medical training whatsoever. If you've ever bought one of those reusable straws on Amazon, the little brushes that come with them are the same type of thing that you would use here. So the fact remained, however, that if this was to become clogged, he would need pretty immediate assistance because he can't breathe. And so the first time that it happened is shortly thereafter when he came out of ICU. He presses the call button and his brother times it. It's 2.5 minutes before anybody walks through the door. Now, we thought that was a very long time, and it is, especially for somebody who just hours ago got out of open heart surgery, 74 years old. 2.5 minutes without being able to breathe properly or at all can be very hazardous. We come to find that actually was probably pretty decent according to the response times that we have seen since then. We've outlined a history of events that have occurred on his website, heraldsheart.com, and you can see for yourself some of the issues that he's had. So let's take a moment. We're going to watch his story, and he's going to tell you in his own words of what's been occurring, and specifically what's been occurring since he's got left UT Health Tyler and been sent to UT Health Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, Texas. Some of the issues that he's had with getting patient care, trying to see his doctor, trying to get a nurse to respond. And we're not talking about overloaded hospitals. We're not talking about places who are understaffed. These are very quiet facilities with plenty of staffing on the floor at all times. And the issue generally occurs at night, but not always. So he wanted to make sure to bring this to everyone's attention, and specifically to speak up for those who may not be able to speak up. How many folks who do not have friends or family by their side every day for weeks during this process? What has happened to them? Were they getting the attention that they needed? Did the worst possibly happen to them? We won't know unless somebody looks into it. And so we ask you guys to please like, comment, share this video, post it to all the folks that you know who are a vet, post it to anybody that's in a medical organization or works for a hospital or is going to med school. Please, guys, let there be some awareness out there. Let people know and stand up and find out what's supposed to happen here. Because pressing a call button and waiting 10, 20, 30, or even up to 50 minutes to get help when you're in pain, you can't breathe, or you got something serious, you're in the middle of a hospital, there's an issue. Now, to be fair, when the nurses do come, which for the most part, they are very good at their jobs, we feel or think it is very possible it's a technical issue that is an alerting system not operating properly, not set up to ring back or page people automatically, whatever the case may be. But irregardless, the situation is dangerous and it needs to be resolved. Thank you. So please like, comment, share it out, get the word out there, and hit that subscribe button.
they're wrong. They don't take the person into account. They don't take the individual into account. It's just a blanket piece of crap is what it is.
Yeah. And this blanket is affecting your quality of life and your standard of care here. It's becoming an issue. You know, my concern is what about the patients who have come through here over the years and who come here in the future, who don't have family, who don't have somebody to say something.
Yeah, I feel sorry for them.
When you press the button and you need a nurse and they do finally show up, what's the process? Is it super involved? Is it difficult? Is it time consuming?
Simple. All I do is pull the trach out, and all they have to do is go over and turn the spigot on the sink, turn the hot water on under high, turn it on, and put the trach under there until the mucus comes out of the trach and clears it out. There's even a little brush over there that they can put through the trach to help if it's clogged too bad. And there's nothing to it. I do it at home 20 or 30 times a day myself when I'm home.
So is the solution to them not wanting to do it, getting you up and carrying you to the sink, or?
No, I think it's just the training. I think they're not trained how to handle patients with a trach. That's the way I observe it. And I'm big in sciences, and I watch how things are observed and how data is collected and used. So, like I say, the ones that have put an effort into doing it have been doing okay. But when you first talk to them, sometimes it's kind of like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. I'll get a nurse or whatever. It's kind of like maybe an assistant or something. I don't know who. Which is fine. I understand that. But then, if you got a trach person, you need to have trach staff to help them.
Yeah, well, you want to think it would be in some basic knowledge when you're dealing with, caring for folks just in general. I mean, they seem to know quite a bit about the feeding bags, the feeding tubes, so it would go to reason that, maybe it's just a little bit of adding in that extra training. But the real issue isn't even that. The real issue is the response time when it comes down to it.
Yeah, they are slow in response, but I wouldn't say the most part, but 40-50% of the time, they're slower than they should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you press a button and you can't breathe, or you got something going on, I mean, do they have other monitoring set up on you? Are you on a heart monitor? Are you on any other alarm system?
This is minimal medical care. This is kind of like a halfway point from the medical hospital to going home. This is like a partially rehabilitation, getting you ready to go home. So no, they don't need to monitor your heart and all that. They come in and do a heart, a monitor. Probably every 2 hours they'll come in and check your oxygen and heart and all that. But you don't need an EKG or anything here, unless you have problems.
So it's 100% reliant on you pressing that button and them responding in a timely manner if you've got something going on.
Yeah, if something goes on, yeah. If I have a problem, yeah, I have to push a button. Yeah.
Yeah, so if your trach gets clogged, and you can't breathe, you can't get up and do it, you press that button, we're waiting for somebody to come and help.
Yeah.
And I know...
Yeah, if I felt really severe, I mean, if I got to a point where I couldn't breathe at all, I'd just keep pushing that damn button. I wouldn't stop pushing it. I haven't got to that point, thank God for that. But even so, they shouldn't wait that long to come in.
No.
Because, I mean, when my trach gets clogged, I pull it out, you know, breathing on my internal valve there, and as long as that don't get clogged, I'm okay till I get here and clean it out. So, but if it wasn't that, I mean, if it got clogged while I was waiting, I'd just keep going. I'm sure somebody would show up. They better had.
Yeah, well, there's supposed to be lights and alarms outside the door when you press that button, and I'll see if I can get some footage of the hallway, because there's not. That's
They don't have it at the door, it's up front.
Yeah. So I think that they're not following some of the UL standards,
Yeah.
but,
I don't know, it's up front, somebody's supposed to be monitoring it. And last night, somebody wasn't monitoring because it was twice. I pushed that button last night and then nobody would answer me. So I have no idea, maybe they were looking for the nurse. That's my feeling, someone dropped the ball along the way, I don't know who. But, because when I pushed once, the second time I pushed the button, nobody would answer. So, I think she might have gone up and looked for somebody else. I don't know what the circumstances were. Because when the nurse finally came in, she didn't even know she was called. She just walked in, I think, to check on me. Just for her own opinion, I guess. Just her personal check.
and this has went on for a couple days. This isn't just like one shift that
Well, this was the only time given that problem.
yeah.
But yeah, that's normal. They normally come in every hour to check on me. Sometimes more than that, of course. It depends on what's going on.
Yeah. And from my understanding, on Friday, there is only 9 patients here.
That's not so very many, I guess.
Yeah. And today, I can say that it's even less than that. The staff is, not the staff, but the patient load is pretty quiet here today. You know, so one would think that you would get almost immediate response when these folks aren't being overworked, aren't being overwhelmed, we're not in a COVID care facility or something where there's a staff shortage.
As far as I understand, they have COVID patients here.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah, but they're not stressed for
No,
resources.
it's not like that. No, they're not. No.
So there shouldn't be any reason for them to ignore you, or anybody, or any patient. Well, is there anything else you want to say to folks?
Yeah. No, they just need to get training a little bit better. But for the people that have helped me, I'll give them kudos, 5-star rating, or 10-star rating, 12-star rating. The ones that have helped dramatically. But it doesn't take but a few to screw things up.
It only takes once.
Yeah.
It only takes once, unfortunately, and that's what we're going to show here today is that these little issues can mean the difference of life and death. That's why you're in a hospital. That's why you're here to recover. And patients don't always have somebody to advocate for them or to speak up for them or family members to help them or check on them. And that could be very disheartening for folks in that situation.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to prevent that. So hopefully this wakes up some people, gives them something to think about. Guys, please share, post, retweet, get this out there. Harold was a veteran. He served his country in Vietnam. He's been a small business owner, a restaurant owner, a weatherman, a scientist. And we don't treat anybody like this. We don't treat our vets like this. We don't treat our family, our friends, our elders like this. So get it out there, folks. Let everybody know And leave your comments below. Thank you.